Welcome, everybody, to The Space Between, episode 13. And we're going to start off with our session 12 recap by Bo.
Okay. So session 12 recap by Bo. So starting since a 2-day split, so Dimnoff or D-Day.
Hmm.
Things are actually going pretty good right now. Had my doubts about joining up with Eva and these folks, but I reckon I made the right choice. They's honest, not at all the control freaks I was worrying about. Usually spike drills are a bore, just listening to my tunes till we're background side. But I'm getting to cook, saving us from those vomit packs Eva was serving up before. Playing some darts with Zeke and Cherry, at least when she's not flying the ship. Even working on some fancy airs. Yeah, things are looking pretty good for when we get to Demnoff. D-Day +1. It's some daggum chicanery. Just when I think there's some good and decent folks, they pull the rug out from under me. They some low down, dirty error. 12 minutes and 34 seconds of audio for transcription deleted by a user. I reckon I shouldn't have said all that about it. Go back and scrub that. Still bringing me to some planet of no account bolt buckets who worship ones and zeros. Calling some robot a god. Can't believe Neva would hide this. After all the Thay. Nah, she don't know any about that. Not like I told him. Still, I got more than half a mind to go back and stay on the ship with Cranberry till Sarah's done playing in the dirt.
Did you just?
That means I'd be on a ship with her till they're done. Guess I'll just keep on overwatching far away from everyone. No stupid bots around, and the forest actually kind of nice. I wouldn't object if a rust bucket wandered in front of me and my bow.
Ahem. Cranberry.
Nice.
I think this rust bucket might object to that.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Bo's got some deep-seated issues with robots, apparently.
I was not ready for the error 12 minutes and 34 seconds of audio transcription deleted by user. I was not ready. I didn't know that was there. That was so good.
So everyone will just have to wonder how many different words Bo could have filled 12 and a half minutes with.
Right?
I reckon he got to at least you.
When Bolt Buckets is the tamer stuff. Well, anywho.
Oh dear.
So last time we left off, having finished up the second day, which was the first planet side day, and got some well-earned rest. We also had left Cherry behind on the ship
Ah,
and had not talked too much, that I recall anyway, about how we were going to bring her back.
No, we're just leaving that to you.
I think you'd suggested splitting the party so that they could be ambushed.
Oh, I do remember that, yes.
I would never.
Someone was gonna go
Would
back
never
alone to the
suggest
ship
that.
and get her.
Yeah, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, Bo? No, what I was gonna suggest, I mean, Carrie could be an easy candidate because she didn't need sleep. Figured you guys could send her back to the ship to escort Cherry to the excavation site, either kind of while everybody else is resting, or first thing in the next morning, or whatever? What do you guys think?
I said whatever's easiest. I don't know if you intend to make it, if you intend to just bring Cherry back, or if you intend to make it like a 2-stage encounter.
No, it didn't need to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It could be basically Sarah Lloyd was not sure that not sure that she was going to be much help at the start of it, and wanted to vet the place before bringing in such an obvious non-combatant. I guess Eva got a pass for being ship captain, but anyway, she would not be concerned anymore now that you guys have spent the better part of a day there and not run into any trouble.
Okay. Then yeah, I think Carrie collecting cherry is probably fine. Does Carrie have a basket to carry? Cherry? Or is Cherry bringing her own basket?
I think Carrie can
Carrying
reconfigure
Carrie's
himself
breakfast
into
basket.
person carrying mode. Um,
We've broken Ben. Only a few minutes in. Said we've broken Ben, and it's only a few minutes into the game.
yeah, I'm getting bombarded with questions and
He said,
jokes from the in the chat, and then getting private messages too.
let me just add 5 more warbots to this encounter.
Every play on words gets you one more enemy. No, that would be terrible. I enjoy the play on words. In fact, it's entirely my fault. Let's see. So, yeah, I think the way this would go down. Who was it that somebody had come up for, or had headed towards the entrance to the tunnel at some point?
Oh.
Yeah, Bo's been back up that way to be watching and away from people.
Okay. Does he have a compad? I feel like he does, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when he ventures a ways up the tunnel to take a quick check and make sure nothing is approaching or going on out topside, his compad uh, starts dinging, goes off with several messages in a row, and makes him think he's getting a call. But when he goes to check, nope, it's just a bunch of texts. And they're all from Cherry.
Oh my goodness. Phone about shook itself to death.
Probably all about Jennifer Moons.
He's going through all the novels. She has so many theories.
Danielle, would you care to summarize the contents of some of these text messages?
Yeah, so starting out, she's talking about how he's really got to see some of this footage that she's editing for Miss Lloyd because there's a lot of surprising amounts of violence in them that she thinks Bo would find thrilling. And then after a few hours, she says, "All right, I'm done editing all this raw footage. can you send someone back for me? And then Bo, and then there's about 10 messages just of her spelling his name wrong in every single text, but she's trying to get his attention. And then she says, I'm going to raid your room if you don't answer me. And then, wow, you're a really big Jennifer Moons fan. And then a picture of all of his Jennifer Moons books in his room.
no.
And she said, does A know about these? Question mark.
Wait, for the record, how many Jennifer Moon's books would currently be in Bo's quarters?
0. They're either
Right.
back on the shelf or on his person. That's what I was gonna text back. I'd say, "Joke's on you. Everything worth keeping in the room is on my person."
Well, no, this would have been like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, when he left the ship, he
So-
never leaves anything in the room.
All right, well, I'll retcon that. So she looks through his room, and she just buzzes about like, "Wow, you're even more boring than I thought you were. This is disappointing." Then she'll send a text of a picture of his back stock of biscuits, and she's pretty much eaten through half of those. And then
Wow.
eventually she'll say, forget this, no one's answering me, I'll catch up.
Oh no.
Oh,
And that's the last message.
Last word.
okay. So
Anybody
then I guess he would.
The last message is a picture of her taking a selfie at the door of the ship with her
Let him know
new
she's
hand-
serious.
with her new handgun that she's put several stickers on.
Oh no.
Yeah, he'd hurriedly text back. Or I guess what was the timestamp on when she was taking her selfie before venturing out?
Well, question for Ben then. Would the compad reflect the time that the messages were sent or the time that he receives them?
Yeah, just for the sake of simplicity, let's make it work like we are used to it working. Just whenever they arrive would be the timestamp he gets.
So
So
he doesn't
unknown
know.
time, and he's panicking. He'll hurriedly text back, slow your roll, apricot. And then try to call her.
He gets sent a voicemail.
Dadgummit, she's probably been eaten by a robot bear at this point.
She's gonna text him back and say, I'm sorry, what was my name?
And they'll text and say, well, at least the robot bear didn't eat you none.
She texts him a bird.
Mm. I'll say, hold tight, Cherry. I'll see, or text, hold tight, Cherry. I'll see if I can come get you. Gotta let the crew know. Cave ain't got no reception. Awful inconsiderate of the bots.
She'll send him another selfie. She's wearing sunglasses and she has one of the green cloaks on. And she's definitely outside, definitely somewhere he recognizes as being along the way. And she has a tongue sticking out.
Man, I'm gonna be in all kinds of trouble if she gets eaten by some robot bird or whatever. Ace he'll wander back down the cave to the group and tell them. Cherry decided to try backpacking over here. I don't know if she'll be able to make it. Think I should go get her?
Go get her.
Well, I wanted to let y'all know before I just wandered off into the woods.
You didn't have to ask you should go get her. Thank you for telling us, but you didn't have to ask if you should go get her. Yes.
Well, y'all gotta have somebody watching. You never know if old Robo Gad's gonna show up and smite you.
Pete's here. Bo, go.
On it, on it.
Sarah speaks up. She kind of stirs from where she was settling in. You sure you don't want me to send Carrie? She doesn't need sleep.
Oh, is this like still the middle of the night?
It's like evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is as you guys are about to settle down.
You said it was only like a half-hour walk, wasn't it?
No, it was a few hours.
Oh,
Which-
okay.
Yeah, I think I said it was about 3.
Hmm.
Oh, well, now Bo's feeling stubborn. He said, I once spent 72 hours in the woods without a wink of sleep. I'll be there and back in a jiff.
Okay.
But out of character, if you are wanting to countermand to send Carrie, he'll huff and puff, but he'll be all right with it.
And Eva's fine with Bo going. I think she, in character, would prefer that anyways, because while Carrie is doesn't need sleep, she has this expectation, whether he told her or otherwise, or she's assumed it, that Bo knows the wilderness.
Well, okay. Yes, that's all good. So he'll head out to
He will
retrieve
take
Cherry.
his. He will also take a station as Bo is leaving for
Mm,
security.
makes sense.
So keep your eyes peeled for Bolto the robot god or whatever they called him, Edie.
I will.
We should be back in. I guess it was a couple hours there, a couple hours back. Should be back 4 hours or so. Listen, Cherry's got off the trail or something in the meantime.
Okay.
So he will head back the way they came. I have a survey scanner. I think I might. I had some weird thing.
I think Zeke would probably go with him.
Oh, I do have a survey scanner. Okay.
If and that makes sense to y'all.
Oh, Zeke wanting to go too?
I don't feel like it makes sense to let Bo go by himself. So I feel like Zeke would go.
I just kind of
He'd be
agree.
willing to take him.
I mean, Cherry is also kind of like one of his companions from before this
Mhm.
Yeah.
party. I think he would go.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Good rule of thumb in the outdoors is never go alone.
Stopping the music on master bedroom speaker.
Don't tell my Google what to do.
He summoned the robots.
Oh man, yeah, it's great. It's just I have this feeling that Bo is gonna have all these like overreactions to anything to do with digital intelligence or AIs or virtual intelligence or anything at all. Anything that
Not a
responds
fan.
with a voice. I guess he's at least figured out like voicemails, but robocalls, oh man. that would set him off too. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Bo and Zeke can easily enough gear up and head out. Uh, once once Zeke gets close to the surface, his compad starts blowing up with cherry messages as well.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
They'd be of a similar nature, but we can leave all the details to Danielle to send you or something.
Type them all out in a text roleplay.
Every single one of them. No. Yeah, you kind of get the gist. Just blowing up phones with board, bugging, and whatever else.
She
Poking 'em.
bombed your phone too, I reckon.
It seems like it. Did you get this picture?
Oh, what's the picture?
Shows the one where she was
Oh.
walking to the place we had been.
Oh yeah, that's when I started worrying. Her wandering out in the woods all by herself.
She also took a picture next to a rock she thought Zeke would like.
About
Well,
how
that is
far back would you say that picture was taken, man? It was like half of the walk, or
Yeah, I think about half the walk.
well, that is a quality looking rock. I bet we'll recognize it.
I don't know why she thinks I like rocks.
It
Who
looks
doesn't
like
like
a book.
rocks?
It's a rock that looks like a book. That's the only reason she thought that he would like it.
They're good for throwing, good for working down into arrowheads.
This
Definitely
one
a
would
good rock.
He does not, unless you told him it was a book, or it looks like a book. He isn't gonna get it.
Hey Ben, what is the
I guess a big flower.
what is the environment like on Demnoff?
So the terrain around y'all is fairly forested. It's a bit on the colder side. It's hilly terrain as well, and say it's season wise, it's probably sometime in the fall. Jerry could tell that. It had just rained pretty heavily the day before. Everything's still a bit damp. Or sorry, day before that morning. Anyway, yeah, does that answer your question?
Sure.
All right, well, go ahead and give me a survive check from Bo.
Now we
you
get to
with,
see if
wisdom?
Eva's judgment of Bo is correct.
Yes.
I think it's just going to be the straight roll at this point. I got +0 to wisdom, and I got a 0 survive from my character creation. Woo! Hopefully,
Hey.
10's enough.
Yeah, 10's good, especially considering you already traveled this path before. Hadn't been that long, so Bo was able to lead Zeke in backtracking their path. And make solid time. Just the two of them. And I think they'll be able to pretty easily find Cherry once they get close enough. Danielle, how do you think Cherry would be faring about an hour and a half or 2 hours into this trek?
Uh, she'd have stopped to take several vlogging breaks on the way.
Got you.
So she's pretty well rested.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we spot her, and then Bo would run over and say, "Oh, good, the robot bird didn't eat you. I was worried after that second emoji."
I'm sorry, has no one ever given you the bird?
I mean, I got a couple pheasants one time after. Oh.
How rude.
And I ran out here worried you were getting eaten by some automated ostrich or something.
She's gonna blow a bubble with her bubble gum. I didn't ask you to come get me.
Well, ask it or not, we're heading on back. You can hang out here with the robo fauna, or you can follow us back.
All right, give me just a couple seconds to finish this shot.
Pick your poison, boysenberry.
She pops her bubble and she zooms back into the bush she was looking at a second ago, for which she finds riveting for whatever reason.
Zeke took a candid of herself as he was approaching.
What'd you say?
Zeke took a candid of Cherry while they were approaching and sent it to her.
She appreciates it.
I think if you squint real hard, that bush looks like Zeke's head from behind.
She looks up at him, but he can't really tell what her facial expression is behind the giant sunglasses she's wearing. All right, I think I'm done.
Well, on back to camp. You can be happy it's us. Old Gorilla Arms was gonna send our robot after you.
Who?
You know your girlfriend, old Sarah Lloyd. Gigantic
She
freaking
isn't-
arms, even bigger
Oh my
gun.
stars. So where did you guys go?
They're playing around in some dirt in a cave. There's a bunch of
That sounds right up your alley.
worked masonry. I've been sitting up at the top enjoying the woods over here. Besides, I don't want to see no robo buildings. Ain't got no
No,
use
you
for 'em.
don't. What's wrong with robo buildings?
Got robots in them. That's what's wrong with them.
She's gonna kind of send up her little drone, her little mini drone, to be doing like overhead video footage while they're walking, and she's looks like she's half listening to Bo while she's looking at her compad screen.
I guess Bo's gone back to enjoying the fauna and flora of Dimnoff. The only enjoyable part of it to him. Is he spotting anything out of the ordinary? Robo plants.
Yeah, let's see. I would take either a survive or a notice check with wisdom for that.
Oh, good. The notice is a little better. Still a 10.
Nice.
There is one number that I get to roll for the night, apparently.
It's a good number then.
Not a bad
Yeah, it's an all right number. Better than when I was rolling all twos.
Mhm. Yeah, so say that as he walks and looks a little closer, um, it seems actually remarkably similar to some of the mountains from back home. Doesn't seem like there's anything too out of the ordinary at all. Though I think with that he would probably notice that I guess being a bit of a woodsman, that all this around is relatively new growth forest. Nothing nothing truly ancient around here.
Why is that odd? Hey, this would have had a long time to grow, especially if there's ruins and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot far longer than his lifetime, but he's he's got an eye. He's got an appreciative eye for truly ancient, massive kinds of trees.
But yeah, saying he could recognize an old growth forest.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
those he would have seen back home actually. And he's been around just enough to pick up on things like that that a lot of the other more developed planets don't tend to have a whole lot of those. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a freshly rained on fall evening.
I have a question before they get back.
All right, shoot.
Well, hopefully not. Eva doesn't have any skill in shoot yet, but what she does have skill in is no. And Sarah Lloyd has been left alone with Eva, effectively, because Peeta's you know, about midway up
Yeah.
in a watch. So we've uncovered something in here, right? Is there anything that is even remotely discernible as anything other than, oh, that's just more rock?
Hmm.
Any kind of architecture, writing, uh,
I was gonna
stone,
say, how is? Hmm?
stone.
Yeah. How is Eva with architecture?
Uh, she's probably read a book or two.
Okay,
She
so surface level knowledge.
Yeah, she certainly got interested in some like she has an interest in adventuring. A lot of the stuff that she reads in the Jennifer Moon's books is or that she remembers is related to adventuring, even if it is on the more Indiana
Mhm.
Jones level of things. But
Okay.
following from a purely fictional made-up ruins on some fictional planet, she probably at some point in her life has gone on to read about real ruins and uh, or supposed ruins. Things that are
Okay.
supposed to be out there.
Yeah, give me a no check then.
Okay. Oh my.
Yeah. So, she has.
Too
I don't know.
much knowledge.
I don't know how much time she's spent on this. Possibly even enough to get noticed by somebody else whose work is more focused on just moving the rock. But she's managed to take some chunks and piece them together enough to notice some. Oh, let's see. What would that? I guess it would just be kind of be engraving, uh,
Okay.
but it would be I guess it would be the sort of engraving, stone engraving that is reminiscent of Roman architecture,
Ooh.
and it seems like it's um, yeah. As she compares it to some of the other pieces of rubble that have been dug up. Um, looks like there's some that is distinctly decorative, in that it wasn't made out of anything intended to be load bearing at all. But there's some stone, concrete kind of aggregate stuff that is is dense enough. It's the kind of thing that would have been used structurally.
Okay. I figured this is after we've stopped digging and Eva had kind of mentally marked a few pieces that they'd set aside, and now she's putting it back together.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Whether Sarah wants to participate in the conversation or not, she is part of a one-sided conversation with Eva about how cool this is and how much it resembles this ancient Roman culture, long lost to time and history. Nobody knows much about it at all. Um, and there may be some there may be some nuggets of useful information in there, but Eva's just kind of rambling. She's excited by this.
So what's her body language, posture? Where's she looking?
She's not. If Sarah has fallen asleep or put earplugs in, Eva will not notice.
Okay.
She will just keep on going. Is that what you're asking? I
What would
probably
you
should.
like to know?
I probably should just answer the question you asked. Body language and posturing is she is entirely focused on what she's putting together, and she looks excited.
Nice. So she's kind of talking over her shoulder to Miss Lloyd.
I don't think it even goes over her shoulder. When she's going on a talking spree, she's not really talking to anyone. She's just talking so that everyone can hear her.
Nice. As one does.
Of course.
How else would you talk about ancient Roman architecture and its use in more modern times?
I
Yeah.
freaking found it. Sorry, I was this whole time trying to figure out what did Cherry look like when they found her. I freaking found it.
Put that up in
Man,
the session chat. Get that
I
visual
will.
reference.
Just 1 second. I'm gonna need Ethan's Photoshop skills, but
All right. Well, see. Do you Dex, do you think that Eva has maybe an hour's worth of Roman architectural rant?
I think so. I think so. If she's let to go on and on and on, then she will end up just talking herself into a dozy like slump and then just fall asleep amongst the rocks that she's so excited about.
Nice. Oh, let's see. I guess then that's gonna be the scene that the rest of the party returns to.
I have a feeling that Pete can hear it from the mouth of the cave.
Yeah,
Chattering.
he
used
would
to
be
it.
hearing it, and I guess at some point he'd hear it kind of trail off. There'd just be silence down in the cave. And I guess if he was doing like Bo had done, where he was kind of keeping close enough that he could keep an eye both on the cave and on the entrance to the tunnel mouth. And he could take a peek pretty easily and see that both Sarah Lloyd asleep in her bedroll and Eva asleep on her pile of rocks. I'm trying to picture that. I'm almost picturing like that she was sitting cross-legged or kind of to one side and had stacked a couple up and was sort of leaning on them, head on her hands, or forearm maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then when it topples over, she starts awake, and then leans over to kind of pick them up. She's tired, so she lies down next to them to rearrange them, and then zonked.
Relatable.
I know you've
All
got
right.
kids.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh. Quick, change the subject. Oh. So we got everybody else showing back up and settling in for a night's rest.
Yeah, so wander back in. I guess we'll ask Pete on the way back. Well, you didn't get smited by old Robo God, I guess.
Nope. It's been quiet other than Cherry being talkative.
Eva.
Well, yeah.
I'd say you could hear from all the way over there, could you? You know,
Just clear his
honestly,
throat.
I put on my noise canceling headphones, about a half hour back.
No one was talking to you.
Can't ever be too careful.
Oh my goodness.
He'll, I guess wander back down into the cave, see Eva on her pile of rocks, throw her bedroll over her, and then crawl into his own.
Zeke and Cherry get their own bedrolls laid out, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yep, I just typed the same thing twice. Hang on, let me fix that, Avery.
I guess question for you, Ben, on the record.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone who is asleep resist?
Uh-oh. Yes.
I'll lose our family friendly rating at this point.
Just to be clear, everyone, he is talking about for the purpose of psychic powers, to which the answer is yes.
I don't know if that's much better. Getting mind attacked in your sleep.
All right, then. That's good enough.
Oh no.
I solemnly swear I am up to good.
Someone gonna have to start rolling saves.
Don't worry, I'll let you guys know if anything happens.
Okay. I trust Avery not to kill my character in her sleep, so that's good.
All right. Let's see then. I figure we can go ahead and give everybody that rest and wake up in the morning. So what are we looking at? Okay. So if you guys will permit me, we can kind of fast forward ahead to past the morning wake up routines and
No.
let you guys can fill in the gaps retroactively as you in other scenes. But everyone gets hard to work again at clearing rubble and
Except Cherry. She's doing her 15-step skincare routine.
yeah, Cherry did not come along on this trip for hard manual labor.
No, she did not.
But the rubble removal progresses quite well.
Cherry's mini vlog is titled "The Horrors Persist, but So Do I."
Go ahead and give me an exert check from everyone who is participating.
Oh, I was gonna say from Cherry because she'll totally feel like she's exerting herself.
She'll exert herself, but she's only holding a teaspoon.
Maybe she
Exactly.
needs a mental save or
Constitution.
something.
Needs a mental save.
I'd say either Constitution or Strength would be fine.
All right. Is Zeke? Oh right, he can't just telekinesis everything.
Right. So he's helping some with his hands. Move some big pieces with his brain. So I think that just leaves Bo.
Oh, he's back on watch.
Oh, okay.
Should I give you a notice check or anything?
Yeah, notice check would be good.
Third end of the night. Let's go. Nope.
Hmm.
It's going down from here.
That's not a 10.
Let's see, and he's an adventure, right? So no reroll. Okay. Yep, he's all quiet on the tunnel mouth front. Yeah, so everybody working the rubble finds let's see, who is it gonna be? Okay. It is Zeke who moves a large rock and finds what looks like glass. Just a glass pane underneath it. Apparently unscratched. And his light shines through it and just faintly illuminates what looks like a desk and a chair. Though there's a bit hard to make out.
So this is a room we can see into through this
Mhm.
small thing. How big is it?
So you've just cleared one rock and it exposed the first piece, but you don't see an edge to the pane looking through, and the desk is some distance below you.
Like a significant distance?
Yeah, it's about 20 feet, and you realize as you play the light around that it's actually not oriented quite the way you'd expect. Um, it's it's somewhat below you, but it's also out and in front. But basically, it looks like the floor that the desk is on is not really level, not even close to level, skewed considerably.
Yeah, he definitely point that out. I'm just debating on if he'd boop in there and take a look around.
Mhm. um, yeah, so as he plays the light around, he can see that there's a wall bit from the desk. It looks like he's looking into a very large, maybe an office.
I mean, he's going to share that he's looking at an office and a small room, not level floor, that he can read.
Okay, that's exciting. How do we get in?
Um, well, I know one way in.
Oh, is it safe?
It's
Do
so
you
safe.
get motion sickness?
Can you
Have you
take
ridden
me
on her
with
ship?
you?
I'm sure it'll be. Yeah, it'll be fine.
That would be amazing.
Wait, no, he can't do that yet.
No, he can't. I was gonna say, like, does he realize that he can't do that yet? Or
Eva's
I don't
hopes
wanna
are
go
about
picking
to
up
be
people.
dashed.
He's actually thinking about smashing a big rock into the glass pane.
Oh no, this is weren't you listening to me? I was talking all night about how ancient this is and how these ruins, and she starts talking about something that she thought she was saying but was ended up like in her dreams. She was probably mumbling a little bit in her sleep.
which is great because Zeke wasn't there for any of it anyway.
Yeah. Well, in her dreams, everyone was listening rapidly.
Bless
I
her.
guess he could offer to go in there and see if there is some vector for entry himself, but yeah, he couldn't bring anyone with him.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a
if
solid idea.
if you can go in, maybe you can tell us what direction we should dig, so that we can go straight to an actual entry.
Yeah, and if there are no nays to that, that is what he will try to do.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Exciting to be putting the psychic powers other than the precognition to use.
Well, and that one doesn't even take effort.
Nice.
It's effortless.
Mm-hmm. He's going pretty quick. Let's see. All right, so yeah, you can teleport down in there easily, and the glass that he'd uncovered was at an angle. It was close to vertical, but slanted a bit. And this floor he's now on is kind of it's several degrees off from level, kind of slanted away from the cave that everybody was in. And you gets the impression basically that this entire room slash part of the building, if it had sat level before, it fell or shifted towards like the center of the mountain, away from the entrance that you all came in through. If that helps clear up the perspective a little bit. Um, but um, popping into the room and shining it around. The glass, the glass apparently has some kind of coating on it that was reflecting a lot of the light, making it hard to see super clearly uh, through it and into the room. But once in the room, it's pretty dusty. He kicks up a cloud of dust, dirt when he pops up next to the desk there, and you can see that this this must have been a pretty nice, pretty sleek office before. There's he he didn't really see any devices, any technology around. Just sees a doorway, the closed door, far end. There's a lot of decor, is uh, what would be considered fairly bougie, and none of it is a lot of it abstract. Nothing that would really ring any bells or be recognizable to him. Um, but the also the chair is super nice. It's like it looks kind of styled after ancient fashion, but it's apparently was made out of very durable stuff because it hasn't seemed to suffer the ravage of time whatsoever.
Nice.
And there's some odds and ends kinds of
Wait,
office furnishing, chairs and desks, and little end tables and stuff around, like a couple
how
bookshelves.
how old does this place look?
It's a good question. I don't know that Zeke is a archaeologist per se, but
But it doesn't look like anyone's used it recently, does it?
no, not at all. Looks quite old.
Mm,
And by the state of the dust and everything, Zeke's Zeke's the first one to set foot in here in quite a long time.
Okay.
mm,
All right, so what's Zeke going to do?
aside with you momentarily.
I was wondering when that would come up.
I'm thinking it feels like a good time.
What better time to explore the boundaries of that unique gift than now?
I mean, no one else has been in this room in a long time.
Dun dun dun.
Dun,
Mhm.
dun, dun. Well, he has some privacy and is in a ancient and mysterious place.
Mhm.
He's gonna hold his hands together in the shape of a box and sort of look through them to see what he can see.
Is he?
Oh,
He's-
is he doing like the TV hands thing, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. And that's his method of looking
Serious
back in
ancient-
time.
This is some serious ancient stuff you've never even
Yeah.
seen before.
Oh goodness, yeah. What is it? It's this kind of thing, right? It just makes
Yeah,
it so much.
exactly. Those. That's what I'm thinking. Or with the fingers all straight out, not like curled in, and you just got like finger guns making the box.
Yeah, but something along those lines is just already amazing. Okay, alrighty then. So,
Yeah, that's exactly it, Ben. That's perfect. But he's holding it over his face.
okay,
He's using it
Really,
like a viewfinder.
6 to 12 inches, you know?
okay then.
I find this very interesting.
All right, I'm gonna need just a moment here.
I derailed Ben.
So this is okay. You clicked it for the thing. So yeah, I don't remember what all text we ended up with there. Yeah, we left it somewhat vague. Um, but yeah, it's
It's considered dangerous. Could destabilize the space-time continuum. Zeke doesn't really care. Very forbidden. He likes that kind of stuff. Will allow him to
Mhm.
create a rift in time, peer into moments from the past, and gain knowledge,
Yikes.
or see an event unfold himself. He can attempt to alter the timeline, but of course that comes with even more consequences, and he's not going to do that. Uh,
Right.
and then what else do we land on?
All right. So yeah, I think okay. I think I've got an idea for this. So Zeke, I'll just say this much that the way it feels to Zeke when he taps into this power is similar to his oracle gift, but twisted. And as he as he engages it, he feels it pull at parts of him that he doesn't physically feel. And after a brief infinitesimal moment that stretches much longer than it should, he lurches into a different point of view. And he witnesses this scene with kind of a detached, almost disembodied kind of feeling. Not really, not standing on the floor or anything, no awareness of his body, just being present. And he sees the room that that he was standing in a moment ago, um, but in with daylight, somewhat filtered through the large wall length of glass behind him. And as much as he has a bag, but he's kind of seeing this all these different directions simultaneously. It's very disconcerting. But you can tell that the sun is it's on its way to setting, and there's a man sitting at the desk. There's a there's a large holographic sort of display in front of him, suspended above the desk, and he's studying it intently and watching numbers change and pie charts shift. Looks like he's looking at some kind of live data feed, or perhaps multiple. And he reaches out a hand, almost as though to touch some of the things. And while he's doing that, a, a glass floats across the room into his other hand, and he takes a drink of something that seems like wine based on the way he takes it. And someone enters the doors. The doors slide open, and someone walks in. I should probably note the clothing you're wearing is a very strange style. It's like almost recognizable, but just off enough that even someone like Zeke, who's not a fashionista exactly, can tell that it's an outdated style of dressing. and the two people talk. He can't really make out what they're saying. It seems like it's a combination of the speech being unfamiliar, and but even the words seem to be garbled by whatever is separating him from the people in this room. But this person is begins to show him turn a tablet and draw out some sort of projection into the air in front of her to show him when there's a brilliant flash of light in the distance, and at the same time the man sitting at the desk clutches his head in both hands.
Nope.
And the woman looks startled and concerned, reaches a hand toward him, and then is knocked down by apparently nothing, and sits there stunned as he stands up. Seems like he's yelling, still clutching his head, and disappears. And she turns and scrambles out the door, and you can see some explosions off in the distance. You can now see that there's more. There's city off, kind of surrounding, but spreading quite into the distance out the windows. These explosions are happening all over the place, and something something lances down from orbit and cuts a huge swath through the nearby city in an instant, and the vision fades as the building groans, creaks, and begins to shift. And Zeke is tugged back into his body, the stinging jolt, all his nerves kind of shrieking at once, and he's back to himself.
What do the rest of us see who happen to be looking?
If anyone were shining a light through and seeing him stand there,
Yeah,
they
of
probably would have
course.
made out made out him putting his hands up in front of himself, and after a couple of seconds, kind of starting back and looking a little physically uncomfortable. Avery, how else do you think Zeke would have reacted after?
No, I think he might lose his step a little bit, but mostly be able to make it seem somewhat normal.
Okay.
As far as the light, I mean, you guys have talked about the screen before, but that wasn't that, right? Like
I don't think
something
so.
else. I feel like that's something Zeke would generally know more about than I do.
The scream is supposed to be something, unless Ben is doing something different with it, of course. But generally, by default, the scream is something that actually made all psychics go like instantly insane. It either killed them or made them insane. Obviously, if somebody was inside of a shield of some sort, or just a race of people who don't go insane with the screen, that wouldn't happen. But I think the way Ben portrayed it, that wasn't the scream.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't think Zeke would be inclined to share any of that. Not yet, at least.
Eva's knocking on the glass. Zeke, do you see a door? I don't know if Zeke can actually hear her.
I mean, he probably would at this point be looking for that vector for entry. Like, do you think reasonably there would be one in this room, or would Zeke maybe make the assumption that somewhere outside of this room there may be a better advantage?
So from what he can tell, so the doorway that he can see, that what he would have seen in the in the vision that led into further into the building, leads away from everyone else. The it looks like what has basically happened is that this um, the the glass that's between you is a wall of glass. It's apparently strong enough to have withstood all this rock, stone, architectural rubble being on top of it, at least up against it. Um, some of which seems like it came from higher up on uh, the building that was evidently stories tall before. But this is so that there's not likely to be a better way in uh, besides getting some sort of access through the glass.
Hmm. Yeah, he's gonna have to pop back and let everybody know we're going through this glass.
It's gonna jump through a window.
There are none. We are breaking this pane.
Okay, that should be easy enough. It's glass. It's really old glass, but let's say
I thought archaeologists like preserving stuff.
Yeah, as soon as people just start talking about smashing the glass, as Lloyd speaks up, no, 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 no. Let's not get hasty. Besides she kind of gestures vaguely at the rock all over the place. It's still largely, leaned up against this glass wall. Um, like this could be an incredible find. We don't need to just start smashing things. She's she's come over and she's got a little survey scanner out. Uh, it's just hold your horses and let me take a look at this. And she's got it right up against the glass. Is going to take a reading, and kind of frowns. Hmm. Well, it is some kind of silicate glass. Just isn't reading quite right.
Dadgummit, I'd muted myself for so long.
oh
Oh
no.
no.
Um, sorry, it didn't really affect much other than Ben. I just wanted to say that, like, while she was looking at her reading, Carrie would have been peering over her shoulder,
Oh,
like
okay.
very awkwardly close,
Will the ladies
trying
who? Oops, sorry.
just trying to read what she had over her shoulder.
Yeah, I got you. What were you saying, Avery?
Will the ladies who's at What's at work better inside the building?
um, not necessarily. It's. I'm trying to remember. I always forget fluff text for this thing. I feel like it's generally it's not exactly a like a oh goodness. I'm thinking of the wrong word. Um, but it's not exactly like a Star Trek little handheld Star Trek scanner.
Tricorder.
You can just oh what you said?
Tricorder.
Tricorder, thank
Yep.
you. Could not think of that word. It's more intended to like look at little samples of stuff. Um, so if you had like a well, no, I'm making stuff up again.
Well,
I
at
think
least
I
you're
think
honest about it.
I think I always get that get this image in my head of something that like you stick a little sample into. I think I'm
That's the
thinking of
bioscanner.
the bioscanner. Thank you. Ah. Um, okay, yeah, no, the survey scanner would not work any better from inside. 'Cause, yeah, it can samples up to 1 cubic centimeter in size. Um, so yeah, I envision it as similar enough, but yeah, it could it could do an analysis on a very small little piece of something. Uh,
Right? Yeah, the
anyway,
survey scanner does do samples also.
yeah, but yeah, atmospheric and gravitic reading. So it's got an array of pseudoscientific nonsense stuffed into it. But anyway, um, yeah, she says, well, I'm not entirely sure, but we should be able to cut through it. That would be far better than just smashing it and letting everything collapse down on our heads.
Well, I'm not a brute. Of course, I didn't mean to just hit it with a rock.
She looks
Zoro
from
quietly sets down a rock.
she looks from Eva to Bo, who is trying to nonchalantly put a rock down that he as though he hadn't been holding one.
Look, it's a good looking rock. So yeah, does anybody have an idea for cutting through this glass, gaining entry to the building?
Uh, would Pete's thermal knife do it? It is an advanced
Hmm.
weapon.
It is an advanced weapon.
Could
He also has a
Eva
mono blade that is
Yeah,
also TL4. So
yeah, the thermal blade. So, it's potentially, but it's definitely not what it's designed to do.
could
Um,
Eva jury rig something using thermal blade and some additional burst of power from laser pistol and battery charges in that?
wow. Yeah, I think she probably could.
Basically, jury rig up a like mining laser where the pistol is softening things up so that the thermal blade can wedge in and separate.
We check that the window doesn't open.
Good question.
Nobody has checked that now.
Mr. GM, does it open?
So Bo was asking that. Say, I'm just some dumb redneck, but does that window have hinges?
Eve responds quickly. Of course it doesn't. Then she looks at the glass to see if it has hinges.
There's nothing visible from where you're at. You really only still have a very small piece of it exposed on the outside.
I
Zeke
guess Pete will
tries
look
to
at
take
Zeke
a
and
close-
say, Zeke, does it have a latch on the inside or hinges or something?
Even if it does, he is not going to admit that he did not check that.
So, what is his answer then?
Of course it doesn't. You think I wouldn't check that?
Cherry will immediately respond, yeah.
No, this is obviously the external window of a very large building. Look at this glass. It's made to resist weather effects and pressures and weather pressures. And Eva says things much smarter than I do. Even if she's
Well,
wrong about this being an
there-
external glass, she still talks about external glass.
It never does hurt to ask. Guess we'll uncover more of that, though, if we want to be able to squeeze on through.
I will just say, as the GM, I'm not opposed to jury-rigging ideas at any time. However, I'd say that anyone with a fix 0 even, I think would have the idea to try some of the tools in a post-tech toolkit.
Oh, well, if it's that easy, Eva has fix 0.
There would be a couple different sorts of cutting tools, and even including some sort of blowtorch kind of deal, say.
So,
I'm not
yeah,
a-
just break out your old thermal spanner and pop right through that sucker.
Yeah, Eva can do that. Unless Bo wants to do it.
Oh, no, you got the toolkit.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
That sounds like something Eva can do. She's very techy.
Okay. Let's see. So the spot that y'all have uncovered is a little bit is fairly close to the ceiling of the room in question. But you guys have rope and stuff, so not necessarily a problem. As long as you guys are fine with navigating that little extra obstacle, then you can go ahead and proceed with someone taking a fix check with either intelligence. Yeah, I think with intelligence to take a gander at this glass cutting.
Yeah, Eva can do that.
All right, nice.
It's literally
So,
the only like useful thing she does. The no is just for fun.
you say that now. The Yeah, so she fires up the tools. She gets a couple different ones out and tries them against this glass, and is able to tell immediately that this is far tougher and even resistant to the tools she's using than glass that she's had to cut before, um, barring anything except for starship grade glass. Um, this is a little easier to work with than that, but uh, with some careful tuning of the tools and a little bit of time, she is able to cut a hole large enough in the glass to fit any one of you through at a time. And she is able to the suction plate and help of someone else keep the piece that she cuts from falling through and wrecking anything.
She'll
Keep
give the suction cup to Bo and tell him to hold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on to it. Man, how did I get grease on me?
Yeah, it looks like Eva must have gotten it on something in her toolkit and it's slicked up a couple different tools. And, some on the handle of the suction plate.
I swear I'm gonna throw that toolbox in the washing machine one of these days.
No, I have very water flammable things in there.
uh, all right, so a little bit of elbow grease and tool grease. You guys have a hole, and Sarah has been taking some of the rope that you guys brought along, and some climbing gear that she had. She's secured an anchor or a rope that she tosses through the hole, and with her shotgun holstered across the small of her back, she grabs the rope and starts the descent.
All right.
Yeah, unless you guys want to do, do you guys have any particular order or method you want to use to get down in there? It's you've got enough gear that I'm not going to require any sort of check to get down in there.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think
We just want the most authentic experience possible.
so.
Is the opening big enough for Pete?
It is just barely.
Yeah.
Does
Okay.
he scratch his paint job on the way down?
Looks like Eva knows Pete and had made sure to make it large enough for him also, which is uh, decent, decent, several inches larger than anyone else would have needed, I'd say.
Yeah, she definitely
And,
would have.
Carrie is able to reconfigure slightly to slim down a little bit, make it through. All right, so you guys all
Yeah,
are
head on down.
you guys are all inside, and looking around an old, dusty, very abandoned seeming office with a bit of furniture and a door at one end. And of course, behind you, a floor to ceiling, wall to wall panel of glass that is 99% blocked by rubble with your one little view light or viewport cut in the top of it.
Okay. is, of course, looking around with some measured excitement.
So let's see. At this point, I think obviously Sarah Lloyd was the one who hired you all and had in mind to head this expedition. But for the sake of not having me just narrating the whole time and telling you guys where to go and what to do the whole time, I think she's going to be somewhat more absorbed in the details of looking at various stuff and looking around for things. And as long as as long as some of you are keeping an eye on her and an eye out for danger, she's not going to micromanage what you do. So you guys are free to poke around and do your own thing here. If you go to do
How many
something
people will
that
be
she
on
would,
watch?
yeah, say if you go to do something that she would particularly object to, then she will interject. But otherwise, I think she's going to be doing her own thing.
All right.
So,
Well, what do we have around us? We've got a desk and a comfortable-looking chair.
mhm.
Are there exits from this room or anything to interact with in this room?
Yeah, there's one exit. Uh, there's a door at the room opposite on the side opposite the glass. Um, there are there's some other odds and ends of furniture. Looks like a little wine cabinet um, next to one little sitting space, and then some bookshelves and the general decor.
Yeah. Uh, does anyone want to explore the items in this room or go towards that exit?
Cherry does.
Which
Which
one?
thing?
But if no one else wants to, then she's okay with moving
Which,
on.
which
Oh,
one?
exploring the items in this room.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to do in the room?
Well, she's done an unboxing before, but she's never done a pillage a room before, so that's gonna be new one for her. So she's going to have a come uncover this room with me video. Let's see. So she's gonna do a sweeping shot of the room first, and then after that she is going to point to the desk and do some close-ups of various inane details of the desk, and then she's going to try and open up the desk and various things in the room.
Okay. So this desk doesn't have any drawers at all. It's
Well,
very
that would have been great for you to tell me ahead of
Yeah.
time.
What's it?
Does it have? Does it look like it would have space for drawers? Like,
Thanks, Bo, who took his entire Jennifer Moons collection with him only after the fact I mentioned I was raiding his room. I really appreciate that the desk has no drawers.
Sorry, I didn't describe every aspect of every piece of
I'm
furniture
just
in the
saying
room.
it didn't really help the narrative, but continue.
It's true. But I mean, she goes and looks. I mean, it would reasonably expect to find drawers, something underneath the desk, but it's just it's a sleek and bare bones,
Hmm.
modernistic kind of styled affair. It doesn't look like there should be drawers in the desk. It's just a desk.
While we're talking about aspects of the room that you didn't describe, are there hinges on the windows? I kind of have them. This point.
Roll
There
for
are not.
hinges.
Uh,
No.
yeah, no. I mean, if you want to go and look real close, you could give me a notice check. But
I mean,
look
roll for
just a
hinges was a
glance.
joke. That was a
Hey,
joke.
look, no, we're doing it. Gotta know. Discreetly.
All right. So
Okay.
yeah. So Zeke does his. He kind of wanders around, looking like he's looking at checking the floor, looking at the dust, and looking at the rubble on the other side of the windows, and yeah, confirms there are no hinges anywhere that you can find. What were you gonna say, Danielle?
Okay, so what is in the room that Cherry would look
I
look
think
through?
the wine cabinet and bookshelves are probably the most the things that have content. And then of course there's
Great.
kind of abstract art and decor around the room.
Okay, she would want to look um she would want to look in those cases and maybe even pull out a wine bottle to see what vintage is on it.
All right, so yeah, she goes and opens that up, and there are two bottles nestled in. There's a well padded uh, little, I guess, bottle storage situation going on in there, and slides one out, and it is it's written. I'd compare it to trying to read um like Middle English. It's fairly similar, but there's just enough like difference in spelling and some different characters and stuff um that it's a little bit jarring, but this is clearly pre-Scream vintage, and the uh yeah, there she finds a year on it that she has to rub the dust off to read more carefully. She gets 2614. That is a nearly 600-year-old vintage at this point.
Oh, it's
She
gotta be just
is
a brick at this point.
it's gotta be what?
Just a brick at this point.
I don't know. They did find like 1,000-year-old honey in Egypt at one point, or thousands of year old honey, I should say. So
There's only one way to find out.
she's not going to open it here. That's for sure.
Did you say that the bookcases have contents on them? That there are things on the bookcases, like books?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there are books on the bookshelves.
I love this this character development. Cherry went for the wine cabinet, and Eva went for the bookcase.
Mhm. Does Eva go to grab one of the books?
She's very close to it. She's looking over at Sarah.
Sarah is she's looking all over and around the desk,
Are you
and
do
try
you,
not to chair.
do you care about these books?
Well, I mean, don't damage them, but I don't mind if you look at them.
Find a new stash of Jennifer Moon novels over there.
Oh, these are far too old for Jennifer Moon's novels.
Those aren't my highest priority. I'm looking for something a bit more sophisticated.
What are you looking for?
She kind of shrugs. Tech, something valuable.
Oh, well then, knowledge is valuable.
Yeah, she doesn't disagree with your point.
Yeah, Eva's gonna take a look over these books and see what of them catch her interest, if she can read them.
So she goes over to the bookshelf, starts looking over the books, and they've got kind of a variety of titles and art art styles even on the spines of the books. Um, but she immediately notices that they're all orderly. They're all still well stacked in the shelf, despite the state of the room. She reaches for them. She realizes that they are decorative.
Eva stares at the bookcase. Why would someone do this?
Do what?
Most offensive thing she could ever find.
It's
Because they
fake.
like making nerds like you cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
You're definitely tearing up, Lisa.
I'm not crying. But
That is
I
a
don't
single tear
think
rolling down
you-
your cheek.
I don't think I've seen you this upset since you found that dog-eared page in your Jennifer Moon.
never fold the pages of a book. I don't know
Yeah,
who
there
did
it is.
that.
Just like that, she's derailed.
Cherry's gonna look over the top of the wine label she was perusing at Bo with like a knowing look.
He's trying to look as oblivious as possible.
Well,
Redirect it, but yeah, about them fake books.
it would seem that whoever owned this office was interested in the appearance of being an intellectual, but not necessarily in the more tasteful, finer details of such knowledge.
Hmm.
I guess you can have all the books you ever want on a compad or whatever nowadays. Maybe just like looking like you had a bunch of books.
But he could have had books. Or she.
Or Robo God, I guess, considering the planet we're on.
I'm really just waiting for Zeke to slip up at all if he like corrects them on their usage of like pronouns or anything.
That would be funny.
Did they at least hollow out these fake books, put anything good inside them?
I got
They
the
don't even come off the bookshelf, unfortunately.
Yeah. Eva is
Sad.
going to search it though, to see if maybe there is something hidden. Maybe it's a wall safe made to look like a bookcase.
Hmm.
That's the only saving grace this bookcase can possibly have in her eyes.
Give me a notice check from her.
Alright. What's intelligence, right?
Sure, why not?
Oh, okay, cool. I'll take it.
and she can have a +1.
Oh, well, then she gets a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say this is her cup of tea. Um, so she does finds at about just a little below eye level on one edge of the bookshelf, um, a very very thin slot that looks like it's got something in it, and it's just almost flush. It looks like the sort of thing that was designed to look like it's you know a part of the shelf, but stick out just barely enough that you can feel it when you run your hand over it.
Hmm. And to everyone else, it looks like she's just caressing the books that aren't real.
Right.
These fake books got you real shook up,
Um,
huh?
Now,
and
there's something here.
as she runs her hand over it, it has the feel of it just makes her want to press slightly,
Oh, she does.
and she feels a slight click, and it pops out, and she comes away with a very thin tablet of some sort that is besides the two ends for holding is made of basically transparent piece of glass or something.
Hmm. Um, Miss Lloyd, is this what you're looking for?
She looks over and her eyes light up. She comes right over and, oh, it came out of the shelf, huh?
See,
She takes it.
knowledge is king.
She's looking
Behind
all over it.
Sarah's back, if Eva can see over Sarah's shoulder, she'll just see Cherry face palming.
uh, Probably. Eva's pretty tall. Sarah's pretty tall also, if I remember, but Eva's oh, she's not tall. She's tallish. So, uh, yeah.
Mhm. Uh, yeah, she says, "This is perfect. This is everything I was hoping for. It doesn't look like this place has been touched, which could have anything. Hasn't been looted. Hasn't been exposed to the elements." And she's can tell this has sparked. She's she's spiraling into almost an Eva-esque
Eva mode.
train of thought, but
Okay.
she's got the tablet laid out on the desk, and she's taking her survey scanner to it, and got like a little magnifying glass type device that she's going over the whole thing with, getting pretty absorbed in it.
Okay.
What is it, Miss Lloyd?
I'm not certain. I've not seen one intact before, but it looks like some sort of data slab. If it's actually functional, if it's intact, this could be incredible. This is,
Well, what do you need to do to find out if it's intact and functional?
well, she's she kind of visibly pulls herself away from looking at it. Well, first I need to figure out how to turn it on. Pretech is.
Cherry would
Hmm.
Cherry would look actually kind of interested at that.
She'd say, "You saw my token," and she pulls out the little authenticator she had, um, which I'd mentioned that to you, but just to remind you, this was what Cherry had plugged into a little isolated data slab she had for
Hmm.
to analyze it, and found it, super encrypted and containing an incredible amount of data. It
Hmm.
was apparently a pre-tech little thing. But she said
Right.
they don't always give, they don't always look like things we're used to working with. So I just don't even know how to turn it on, and so this may take time, but uh, it at least looks intact. I don't know how they charged them or powered them or anything like that. So um, maybe maybe we could find more here, more, a power source or a charging station or uh, some. Anyway, she looks around. It looks like well, because we haven't seen any light switches. I don't even know how they operate this place.
So
Is the
I
door
watched an
open?
old documentary one time where they shouted names at these things when they wanted them to turn on. Tried yelling Alexa at it.
uh, she gives Bo a at first confused, or at first intrigued, and then kind of amused look. Um, no, well, I suppose it can't hurt, but I somehow doubt they were still naming their devices Alexa by the time of the scream.
Maybe it's got some other ones. Open Sesame. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Bo's just standing in front of the door, just like rattling these things off, and the door is not budging. Nothing's happening at all.
Can Pete try to open the door?
Yeah. So it's to go over to it. It it's got kind of a seam down the center. It looks like it would have potentially slid open into each side of the wall. What does Pete want to try to do, or you just want to try a couple different things?
I mean, unless the door's perfectly flat, you can typically get enough leverage to try to push it open.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
he'd probably just start and try to push it open.
Okay. Give me an exert check from him. All right. Nice. Yeah. Pete walks past Bo, and it's his hands in there, finds the barest bit of seam, and with a bit of whirring of servos, strains and pulls and pushes one side open. Seems like the door is completely depowered, and ends up pushing it past its whatever mechanical, whatever mechanism would normally have kept it shut, and is then able to slide it open without too much trouble the rest of the way.
It's probably just hydraulic. Push it hard enough and it just goes. back into the wall.
Yeah.
Mrs. Lloyd, maybe you should take that with you, and we'll look around to see if there's anything else in here.
Yes, yes, we should probably do that. She's looking distracted. Cherry has stepped over, has pulled on uh like some sort of little gloves that
Oh,
are that Eva would recognize her for working with sensitive electronics,
hmm
and was talking to her in a low voice, and they were both looking at it closely.
yeah.
Um,
On seeing that, Eva kind of takes a vocal step back. Says, "Oh, or you could just unlock it now." Eh,
Well, I just want to give it a cursory look. I don't know if I can unlock it. Um,
yeah, so like I think that'd be like a program with intelligence.
okay. Number of dice for input value. What? Never asks me that.
Because you're a
Oh no, I have
hacker.
and I also have unspent skill points. This is unfortunate. Okay, well, okay. So since I'm a hacker, how does this work? Because I haven't done this before. Maybe Robert walks me
Um,
through this.
I don't. Trying to decide if this would be hacking. I'm gonna say that not at this point. You're not hacking anything. You're just trying to figure out how to operate free tech. So just do 2d6.
Okay.
Okay. You you go
I'm
over it
able to.
for
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
you go over it for a few minutes, but you're not able to find anything. You're not able to none of the sorts of intuitive gestures or places to you look for a button or a pressure plate or anything yields any change in the device. Um, let's see. Are you? Oh, you're an expert though, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So you could re-roll that if you wanted to.
Mm, sure. Why not? There you go.
Hmm. Yeah, still not enough, unfortunately.
Figured as much.
Um, but
Does she
yeah,
recognize anything about it, or possibly like, is there any kind of detail about it that she would recognize design wise?
no, um, I mean, I guess she would. Having to take a step back for just a moment. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Even though
That's
Lillian
fair.
Da is run by AIs, the you know her experience is still for the most part limited to post tech kind of stuff. So yeah, just the complete absence of visual indicators and stuff. It was very much I guess a feature of that time that was it's kind of like how we get certain ideas of what a modern aesthetic should look like. It's very much the time of minimal minimal everything, minimalistic aesthetics,
Yeah.
minimalistic, you know,
Out of
activity.
curiosity, she's going to hold it up to Zeke and just ask him, does this appear to ask you to interact with it in any way?
Um, he's gonna say no.
Mm. All right.
And that is
She'll
correct.
hand it she'll hand it back to Miss Lloyd.
All right, so Miss Lloyd takes it back and carefully she wraps it in some padding and slips it into her pack. And Pete has pried open the door and is looking out into the room beyond.
He will, of course, check it for any hostiles or obvious dangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what Pete is
How about
looking
any
at
corpses?
Well, they're not dangerous. Usually.
bold assumption there,
I was
Pete.
gonna say famous last words.
Usually.
Don't feed the GM. Don't feed the GM.
Sorry, I got something caught in my throat there.
Hmm.
I think it coughed up. No, so what Pete is looking at looks like a large open concept room that has got would have desks and semi little cubicle type spaces that are really just for the sake of having something to put a desk up against and provide a little bit of visual separation, but really doesn't provide any privacy. Um, and the room is quite large, talking um, maybe 80 meters long, 30 meters wide, and has doors. Seems like it has doors along both sides, though the ceiling here in a few places has apparently been damaged at some point, and a good bit of the building's rubble and some rock, just natural looking rock, have fallen in and made some made somewhat of a broken and scattered mess of large portions of the room. And you can along the entire left side of the wall is buried behind piled up rubble, uh, and that it's the pile has extended some into the middle of the room, but then you can, for the most part, the far wall and the right wall are clear of debris, and the whole room is still slanted down and away from you, uh, just maybe like a 15-degree angle or so, um, same as the room behind you. And
Well, Pete will step aside so others can come in too.
Yeah. Eva will fall in line, head into the room.
I'll say that at the far end of the room, on the left side, kind of close up against well, I'd say just uh, partially behind some rubble. You can make out one of the doors looks different from the others. That it has uh, some sort of yellow kind of caution symbology on it, and you can make out in similar enough to modern mandate that uh, says like maintenance only.
Hmm.
Sounds like where we need to go.
If those are maintenance tunnels, then they probably would give us a lot better access to other parts of this structure.
See what you doing. All right, you guys want to go check out that door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you can navigate the way across the room without any trouble. Um, you, yeah, you can go past and around all the rubble and the desks and things that have been knocked around and scattered a bit. You do as you cross the room. Uh, you do find a couple of corpses. One of them you just see you see a like a forearm bone sticking out of the pile of rubble. The kind of a skeletal, withered, desiccated hand laying next to it on the rocks.
Mm.
And find another similarly preserved body, uh, partially buried under the rubble close to the maintenance door.
What happened here? That rubble is just collapsing into this room.
Well, whatever happened, it probably involved a big bang or something. That makes a lot of rubble, you know?
Miss Lloyd speaks up. Yeah, I don't know. That that wine you found predates the scream. Would that be something? Oh boy. She's her eyes are alight with the possibility, and she's already moving some rocks and a couple of pieces of ceiling out of the way of the maintenance door.
Okay. And just so
Hey,
that we're not.
Ben.
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead, Danielle.
I was just going to ask, does any of this look similar to any of the other places that Miss Lloyd has gone, that Cherry would have noticed in the footage she was editing for Miss Lloyd?
No, in fact, other places that she'd been, looks like it looked like from what Cherry could tell, and by Miss Lloyd's reactions, um, that they were ended up being places that either had already been stripped clean of anything substantially valuable or useful, or in one case had been in active use by the green robed uh, machine god cultists or whatever that Sloyd actually got into a bit of an altercation with.
Hmm.
That was the footage that Cherry was wanting to show Bo at some point.
So as they're going through this, Cherry would ask, um, how, Miss Lloyd, how did you find out about this place? Or that this place might be here?
She continues moving the rubble,
Cherry'll
and
help her move the rubble
Oh,
if she can.
she says, "I have my methods. It wasn't easily acquired, I'll tell you that."
I'm sure you've got to be really excited because I can tell this is probably the most promising dig site you've had in a while. And
I
then
am.
she'll kind of blush to say, like, I wasn't snooping, just noticed when I was editing.
Oh, sure. I would hope you noticed that. So I asked you to take a look, trim out some of the unnecessary, boring parts. Only keep the good stuff. But this is on another level. And she starts feeling around the door and turns to Pete. Do you mind helping with this?
Okay. And Pete will walk up and open the door.
All right, and yeah, certainly with the two of you.
Got a suspicious feeling about this.
Hmm.
I think our GM is setting you up.
I know he's setting me up, and it's right around the time we need to wrap. So cliffhanger in
What?
3,
I
2.
I would
the
not do anything
accusations,
add to
man, the
you, man.
accusations.
Pete's the door opener. He's the one who opened the last door. It's the
Because she definitely doesn't have an entire specialized robot for such a thing as this.
well, Pete is also the bodyguard bot. Ethan, how dare. So yeah, the by the light of headlamps and flashlights, Pete and Miss Lloyd muscle open the door and find themselves in push their way into a smaller but still pretty large room. It's about 10 meters across, straight ahead of you, and then looks like it stretches the width of this end of the room that you're just coming out of. Um, and though part of the wall is caved in, and there's actually a couple places where there are bits of the glass and exterior wall that are embedded in the wall, the shared wall with the main room, indicating perhaps some kind of explosion. The room is occupied mainly with what look like server towers.
Huh.
Pete will look over
That
his
are
shoulder at Eva and say, "See, I told you, something went bang."
It was a computer?
I don't know.
Server towers. Cherry, can you get into those?
If she looks at Cherry, Cherry looks almost like she's humming with excitement.
She definitely does look over at Cherry.
She
Um,
has not seen Cherry this exhilarated without sugar in the entire time she has known Cherry.
Yeah. Hmm.
but yeah, these are
Okay.
so these server tower units look like they pretty much span floor to ceiling, and they're all none of them are powered on. At least
Right.
any the naked eye, it doesn't look like there's anything running. No lights, no noise, anything. And you can see from where you're standing, you can see down there. There are at least half a dozen of them in a row, spaced with room to walk between them, uh, heading down towards the other end of the room, basically to your right. And you can see to the left there are several charging stations for for bots, most of which are occupied. One of them looks like rubble buried it, um,
Oh shoot.
and they but
I do
they're
have something for Eva to say before those things come to life and attack us.
no, they're also evidently dormant.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, he says.
To every sense you possess, they are dormant.
Well, then I'll say it now. Eva, seeing Cherry buzzing with excitement like that, where did you get the boba tea?
Huh?
You are on a sugar high, I can tell. Where are you
What?
hiding it?
I don't know. I do this. I mean, that's what I used to do. I used to do computer stuff a lot more often, and then it kind of led into the whole like video thing, and just like
Uh,
I just am excited that this is something I'm good at,
oh,
and think of what could be on there
I,
and the
I, I
code.
am, and you get excited without sugar?
She's gonna kind of wave her hand at Eva and just step forward towards the carts. If something's exciting enough, yeah.
Pete might hold his hand out briefly and then point at the robots and say, you sure?"
Mm, she's not sure about the robots, but she is very excited about the computers. Um, how about I send my mini droid forward? Would that make you happy?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
All right.
so she's sending that little
Her little palm
mini.
drone.
Oh yeah, just further into the room to scope that a little bit.
Yeah.
So
She
yeah,
looks a little exasperated, but only just.
yeah, she can go around the side of the closest server tower there, and um, as it looked like, the other side of basically looks like there are two rows. The row on the other side of the room, ahead of you, looks like a lot of those have been damaged by the debris and by whatever made that side of the room come violently inward. There's still
I
quite a
love
lot
me.
of material in most of those towers. All but one of them are still standing. And that one is kind of fallen in a way that you can. It looks like it could be stepped over without any trouble. Um, but this different vantage coming around and going in between these two rows of server towers, she can see what's at the far right end of the room in the center. It looks like that far wall
She kind of
is.
squints down at her data slab that she's watching this footage on.
Mhm.
She points it out to Pete. She's like, I can't quite tell what that is. I just like, hold on, maybe I can get closer. The zoom on this thing is just crap.
Maybe just a little bit.
Queuing me up so
Just-
well. So there's a large rack of some kind of computer stuff. Looks similar to the other server towers, but it's up against the wall, and about eye level, encased in some kind of transparent box, mounted in the center of it. There is a just faintly reflective, maybe almost very dully glowing
Oh,
stone that it looks faceted. It almost looks like a precious diamond or something, as big as your fist.
Uh-oh.
There's
Pure.
the carrot on the stick.
There, carrot on the stick. How about the grenade on the stick?
And Sarah gasps when she sees it over Cherry's shoulder. No.
Pete will like freeze but block motion forwards and like swivel his head to the side and say, "We might want to get out of here."
why?
You don't want to
Why?
Continued
the size of a grapefruit?
next time on The Space Between.
Exactly. I knew it.
We find out why Pete has a rock phobia.
Yup.
Oh boy. Oh, okay, wait, I gotta figure out what this. Oh, we're on my fighting time. That's what we're talking about. And I was like, wait, what's going on in the chat here? I was very zoned into my description. All right. So, yeah, we're going to end the session on that note. Give everybody another XP. And, yeah, jump straight into faves. I guess it's my turn first this time, isn't it? Oh, goodness.
If only it was just a diamond, man.
Yeah. All right. All right, I think my fave has got to be, though I didn't end up, I don't think anybody put it in the quotes channel. I was pretty distracted. No, you think I wouldn't check that? That I think that certainly took the cake for me. Danielle.
Oh yeah.
What was
Yeah,
your
I
favorite?
guess I should clarify. So it's when Zeke said in response to the question about uh
Are there
I think
hinges
maybe
on the
Bo
glass?
asking, "Hey, are there any hinges? Like, is there any way to open this window?" He's like, "No. You think I wouldn't check that?"
Like, come on. Um,
Well, very explicitly out of character, not having checked that.
can I skip?
Yeah, we can skip you.
I just want to
Dex.
think on it a little longer.
Alright, I wrote one down. I'm ready to go.
All right, do it.
It was fun seeing Cherry doing the blogging and the media personalitying.
Oh, cool.
I have to add to that taunting Eva over the very real possibility that she might have been about to cry about the books was also a fave. Oh, it was Bo that was doing most of the taunting about her crying.
Oh, was it Bo?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I guess that's funny. I guess I picked up on my on Cherry season. That was a funny moment though, because they were not letting up on her either. I was like, man, this is getting kind of harsh.
No, it was Cherry that distracted her very quickly. Just the instant diversion.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen you this upset since someone dog-eared a page of your Jennifer Green book.
That was great too.
hmm Yeah, that for me that was definitely up there. All right, Ethan, what about you?
Yeah, I guess related the alternative timeline that could have been for Cherry cottoning on to Bo reading Jennifer Moon novels and her still ongoing suspicions. Oh yeah, and Zeke's cool timey-wimey powers.
Mm.
That's the
I love that phrase. Timey-wimey or term. I guess that's a term. Robert, what about you?
I've been going back and forth with a couple of things. But I would say, I really thought it was funny. The knowledge is valuable. Turning out to be, oh hey, I actually found a book that had something in it. But also
knowledge was valuable.
yeah, knowledge is valuable. Yeah. But also, I love the mental image of this hick Bo talking at the door, expecting it to just open for him when the power's off. Just hilarious.
Let's see. All right, I think I captured those two. What do you think? Knowledge is valuable, literally.
Yep.
And Hiccupo talking at the depowered door. Those are good moments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely had a blast observing all the role playing around the around tonight's session.
It was fun.
Avery, what about you?
Two things. Cranberry was great. And then y'all just nailing, understanding what I was trying to portray Zeke doing to look into. Nailing it.
It's fantastic.
I expected to have a much harder time explaining that, but
Yeah, that was like the moment you said that, just man, I don't know why. Just something about that gesture combined with these are like epic, arcane, and forbidden powers that you're unleashing, and just
And you're using that.
doing a little picture fingers. Great. Let's see.
that's where that comes from, just so you know.
Oh boy. Um, I okay. I have to add on to mine since it's come back around to me. Um, I'm gonna yeah, I think I'd say it as Eva talking herself to sleep about architecture was great, and I just have to point out as a slight aside that was an extremely relatable moment to me because I have done a very similar that is like play by play swapping out topics, something I have done to one of my cousins before.
Oh no.
To the point it actually I noticed that it happened, and for a while whenever I would sleep over there, I would just when it got late, I would like, let's see how long it takes to put him to sleep. Start talking about the thing I like to talk about. And they'd be out. Only slight difference is I didn't usually talk myself to sleep.
You do talk yourself to sleep sometimes.
Oh no,
Yeah.
called out.
True.
It doesn't happen
Dan.
often, though.
All right, babe. It's back to you.
Yeah.
No dodging it this time.
I feel like the man, Cherry deciding to take matters into her own hands and deciding just to strike out and hike into the Demnoth wasteland. But exploring Cherry's abilities, I think that was my favorite part.
Is that a second part or that? Oh, exploring her
Yeah.
abilities is okay.
Yeah, just like her being into programming, and that had not been really. I'd been thinking earlier today, even actually, about needing to maybe like talk to Robert sometime soon about like how he played into being a programmer and how that differed from my old character. So I was excited to get to play more with the with that side of her as a character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that's our faves and our XP for the sesh. Danielle, I'm guessing you're not at a computer, so I will put.
Are you? I am at a computer.
Oh, you are at a computer. Ho ho
Mhm.
ho. Well, then you can put your own XP in.
I can.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so I think that'll wrap it for tonight's session. Thanks, everybody.
All right, I'll go ahead and end the stream here.